So Kealakekua Bay State Historic Park is probably one of our most unique state parks. It has so much variety of value. It's a vahipana. And as Ahumoku says, it's even more than a vahipana. It has significant scenic values. Most importantly, it's a community. It is a community. This is the only ocean water under state park regulation as well. And it's also a marine life conservation district. The waters host protected marine mammals. And it's historic. We knew what happened here 245 years ago. And it changed the course of history for better or worse, depending on your view. There's public recreational value, visitor and industry value, and as such, it's a local economic driver as well. And yes, due to these values, there are significant management challenges. I am glad that the previous plan was challenged and failed legally. It was an old school park development plan with visitor center and buses. This plan is way more sensitive to place and community and honors the resources, both cultural and natural. And in this case, precisely less is more for sure on this plan. However, there was a flaw in this plan. And when I pitched the EIS to the board a few years ago, I mentioned this and I'll repeat it. And we owned up to this, but the plan kind of stopped in time with Hawaiian culture. And I learned at a community meeting, and Akone, who's sitting here behind me with his nephew, he watched, and I took lickings essentially for freezing Hawaiian culture in time. Essentially, what we've done since then, without calling it that, is we've engaged in a kapa'akai process. So we've obtained additional oral history since we kind of froze the plan's movement after the EIS. The Nature Conservancy coincidentally and concurrently set up a community action planning process which complemented and really further articulated the significant values and management needs for Kealakekua. So we froze the planning process while the TNC CAP process continued. The plan acknowledges all this and it's incorporated into the final, which I'm really proud of. And I think as plans go, this is probably one of the best vetted. And yeah, it's taken some time, over 30 years. But in this case, I think we've come up with a recipe that is the most appropriate to its value, site, and place. On a mechanical level, this plan addresses off-site parking, a reduction of vehicle access to the end of the road, pedestrian access trails from a new parking area to the bay, the need to manage human waste at Ka'avaloa. It also calls out, and this is what's the most exciting to me, is a partner to help us manage Naupopo landing, the kayak rentals, and ideally reintroduce traditional va'a as a means for having visitors enter the bay. And we all know there's a need to reduce the commercial marine use in this bay. And as always, as any plan is, we still need additional law enforcement because we can set the table with a beautiful plan, but if we don't make people behave right, the plan's only as good as our ability to enforce it. And I'll close with, it's State Park's hope, and I think we got a good shot at it, to replicate what we accomplished at Ha'ena with the Hui Makainana o Makana and collaborate with Holoa Kealakekua on this outcome. One regret I have, Uncle Gordon Leslie is not here to celebrate this because he came here one day, a stack of plans. This would have been the final one on top of his stack, yeah? And this is not the end, this is the start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kurt. I appreciate all the hard work that your team has put into this, and you personally. Thank you.
Aloha, Madam Chair. Aloha, board members. Shane Oconee Nelson from Kealakekua Bay. Thank you for this time to share about my village and what we've gone through. I was 14 years old when the plan started back in 1985, and I went to that meeting. It was at the old pavilion. And out of all of the participants in that meeting today, I'm the only one surviving. took that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sit here. Uncle Gordon was the last, one of the last kupuna, and he worked really hard in trying to create plans. And obviously it took 40 years because of the different conflicts of the different users of the bay. And so today I share that we came together as a community through TNC, who actually helped us with the Kealakekua cap. And we built what we called a good collaboration. We found our common denominators, and that was through our ancestral knowledge. And so the plan is focused on the Vahipana of Kealakekua, which is very important, which is why we came forward with the EIS and we say, hey, stop, state. You forgot about us. We still alive. We still living. And that's what this plan has today.
Aloha to Chair Chang and the board members. My name is Krista Johnson. I am the ku'uipo of Uncle Chucky, also his personal assistant. So in 2018, I think some of you know Uncle's movie, The Last Opeloman, came out. And I'm going to get declamped after watching Maui. So my apologies, because when Akoni said, his nephew is the start, this is the end, right? Uncle's 82. So we work really hard because he's the last living kupuna in Kealakekua Bay. They have all passed away. We just lost his brother Sonny. We lost his brother Gordon. We've lost a cousin. So this guard is moving on. And I know a lot of you on here can appreciate that. I joined this, I moved here in 1990. I've been working on this since 1992. Of course, Uncle and Akoni are, lineal descendants and residents. Uncle's family was the last one to live at Ka'avaloa, his mom's family. Uncle is the last one continuing a 1,000-year legacy of fishing traditions that I help him with our programs, teaching net throughout the Pai'aina, how to make net, community activism now, which is a little uncomfortable for Uncle. Since 2018, we were asked to join the Kaikuliana network, which is how I was introduced to the community action plan process. So I approached Rebecca Most, who's on this call from the Nature Conservancy, after watching Kaupulehu and Kiholo, and I was investigating what made those communities huli to become very successful in their management. And so I approached Becca in 2019 to see if there was any money to actually do a cap for Kealakekua Bay, because as a long-term resident, I have watched the Pilikia, why nothing moves forward. It's an extremely difficult place to management with many ports of entry. So Becca said, yeah, we've just been waiting for you. And so that was 2019. And of course, COVID happened, which delayed a year. But in that delay, it let people who've moved here more recently and haven't seen the way that the Bay operated without tremendous amounts of tourism and influx, where we still had Uncle, whose family also built the pier down here, and Akoni's practices and the families fishing down here. With the closure of the park, it allowed nature to take its course, much like Cindy Punahaule had at Kahaluu. And in that, it woke up people that this is really important, that this needs to happen. And it was, as much as COVID was a problem, for us, it was a blessing. And so in 2021 and 2022, we had put together a planning committee. And from that, you see the cap. The people were extremely dedicated to this. And you can look through the cap. I think it, I have the actual booklet, but if you look at page 13 and you look at page 35 on, it will show you how many people at all levels are vested in this process, because they've all been waiting for something to happen at Kealakekua Bay. But as much as he's going, no, I don't want to say anything. Yeah, you're going to see something. So introduce yourself.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Chucky Leslie, and she told you how old me, so I'm 82 years old, and I live in this bay for 82 years. And I fish in this bay all my life. We fish akule or pelu. We found our biggest school akule in here in 50,000 pounds. And my story can go on and on, but we're going to stay here till tomorrow. So I say hello, and I just ask you for your support for Kealakekua Bay. Mahalo nui loa.
Mahalo.
No, mahalo, Uncle Chuck. Mahalo for just all of your good work and your ohana's commitment to passing on all of that mana'o and those practices. So thank you very much. I knew Gordon long time ago too. So yes. So mahalo. Thank you.